Hey, Salaki, y'all being on mute this whole time. Good night. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as unto Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame set up the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm, and fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded, in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Hey, Salaki for that, y'all. I didn't realize I was on mute, but I'm not restarting all the prayers. Salakia, we're gonna continue on. This is the prayer of the blessing for the structure in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Right.
No sweat. You good. Barakatah Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Why Mayaka Allah? You good. Why Mayaka Allah? Why Allahayim? Matazabaya? Alawap Yahana? Ha Alawapyum? Ha Saranium? Ha Quatazayanium? Ha Klealium? Why Ha Akwapian? Yahweh. Ba Shem Yahweh Shai? The water Amun. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. The curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, the Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves and the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that seek to stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro throughout the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. All right, Sar, why Yashabia, which means turn. You can sit. All right, it's rocky. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, brought the thumb to the brothers, and Shalom, Yahweh Shemal, Latham Bashem Yahushai to the sisters. Salaki for that technical difficulty, for the portion of them prayers. We're gonna go ahead and stay on time. All right. Let me see. Yo, that's Salakia. I thought I fixed it, man.
First time you did, but it had cut out like 5 minutes right after.
Hey, Salakia, y'all.
There you go.
Man, that's crazy. Good night. What a day. Okay. So Salakia, y'all. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. It's muting on its own. So we're in Genesis 31. Right now I'm at verse 38. Hey, I locked that door. I don't know where that brother went. We're still in Genesis 31 through 4. Basically Jacob is about to head back home. Laban is not feeling Jacob no more. You understand? Because Jacob was able to capitalize off of the agreement that they had, to where, he's benefiting off of the flocks, and he's not, he's leaving Laban with the weak cattle. And I was just saying, I didn't know he was muted, but I was saying earlier that Laban and his sons are angry at Jacob because Jacob is benefiting off, or has grown the flocks to where the speckled and the spotted are in more number and they're stronger. But after that initial agreement between Laban and Jacob, for those first 14 years for Rachel and Leah, he could have, Laban, if he was wise, he would have had his sons shadowing Jacob to learn the trade of being a herdsman. You understand? But you see Laban's sons in the beginning of the chapter, they're telling their dad, "Oh, Jacob has stole everything from you. He's gotten all this wealth from from your glory." When Laban had already said that the reason why he was getting multiplying and increasing was because of the skill set that Jacob had in the first place. You understand? And all I was saying was that you have two types of managers or supervisors. You have ones that lead from the front. They're in front of you. They're showing you how to do things, and they never ask you to do something that they're not willing to do themselves. You understand? If they asking you to be on time or show up early, they're there on time, or they're an hour ahead before you show up. You understand? If they're asking you to stay late or stay over, it's because they stay over, or like the work that they put in, they're doing it in front of you. So whenever they ask you to do something, you don't feel a way about it. But then you have other managers, you know what I'm saying, who pretty much, Salaki, what's going on? Hey, Salaki, what's going on?
I'm stepping out.
Oh, you asking to lock the door? All right, no sweat. So basically, you know what I'm saying, Laban and his sons, now they feel away at the end, at the end of this contract, because they felt like that they were going to live high off the hog. It's like for the term hog, but that they would live off of, be able to benefit off of Jacob, and anything he was going anywhere. You understand? But Jacob was only doing what he had to do. You understand? Because he had already received a charge from his father to head back to his own country. So once Jacob saw that Laban, when he said Laban's countenance, it mean that he wasn't looking at Jacob the same way no more. When Jacob was benefiting him, he's all, it's all good. He talking nice to Jacob. Now that Jacob is getting an increase, and he's growing in his own power, now he's looking at him funny. So the Lord visits Jacob and says, "Hey, it's time to go back to the country that I gave your father." And so this is where we're at. Okay, so we're in Hebrew right now. The book of Genesis 31, verse 8 in the Hebrew, and then we're going to go 7 verses. So that'll be, I think we'll be we'll stop at 11 and read in the English, okay, and break that down. Salakia, we're not okay. Waya Ladawa, call Hatazaan, Nakwa Dayam, Wa'am Kaha, Ya'amar, I Quadam, Salakia, I Quadayam, Yaha, Shaka Raka, Waya Ladawa, call Hatazaan, I Quadayam, verse 9, Genesis 31, verse 9 in the Hebrew. Wayatazala, Salakia, Wayatazal, Alahayam, Ata, Makwa, Naha, Abai Abayakam, Wayathan, Laya. Genesis 31, verse 10. Waya Haya, Ba'ath, Yakam, Hataza'an, Wa'a Sha'ar, Aya Naya, Wa'a Ra'a, Bakal Lawam, Waha Naha, Ha'ai Thadayam, Ha'ai Layam, All Hataza'an, Aikwa Dayam, Nakwa Dayam. Hey, Shalom Yom HaShkita. Waba Radayam, verse 11. Wayamar Alaya Malak Ha'a Lahayam Baka Layam Salakia Baka Lawam Yaikwab Wa'amar Hananaya. All right, we're going to read from Genesis 31, starting at verse 4 to verse 11. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock. So he's having a family meeting. He's calling his ribs because the Lord then told him it's time to make a move. So, he's about to lay it down for his ribs, his wives, what I'm saying, about, what the next play is or what the next move is, okay? Verse 5, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not towards me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me. He's saying, like, I see your father is, he feel away about what's been going on, but the Lord been with me this whole time, okay? Verse 6, and ye know that with all my power I have served your father, meaning that he did everything that he could to make Laban's, what Laban had increase and make Laban successful. You understand? But he had to have something for himself. And then he made an open agreement with Laban to do that. So he's just laying it down to his ribs because that's their father. You understand? Verse 7, and your father hath deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. Right? So now, during that time where he was working for Laban for them 14 years for both Rachel and Leah, Laban changed his wages 10 times. And you know how the oppressor do. Hey, we having some issues over here, with we got to change your pay rate because we're losing money over here. We got to cut jobs and cut down on expenses and yada yada yada. So that they may change your wage, or nowadays they may not change your hourly wage, but they may change your hours, reduce your hours down to like 20 hours when you was getting a good 40, or maybe even 50 hours or overtime. Oh, overtime's out. You understand? Or now overtime is out, but also your hours is reduced now. Then they get you down to the point to where you don't even want to show up no more because you're not able to sustain off of what you getting. But this is what Laban did to Jacob. And while Laban is deceiving him and changing his wages, Jacob is still working with the same level of zeal that he did when when his whole mind was just about getting Rachel. He's still working with that level of zeal. All right. This is what he's telling his ribs. But he said, but God suffered him not to hurt me, meaning what? The Lord didn't allow him to do more harm to me than what he was trying to do. Okay. Verse 8. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages. Now what he's doing is he's giving an account of what the agreement was between Jacob and his father to his ribs. He's saying, Laban said the speckled are my wages. Because This is the thing. When Laban had control of Jacob's wages, he could change them. But when he asked him on this last agreement, Jacob was like, "Nah, I don't want no wages. Just let me get these speckled sheep. They'll be mine, and the brown will be yours." Okay. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring straight shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring straight. Meaning that he's saying he agreed to this deal, that the ring straight and the speckled will be mine, and the rest will be his. He agreed to it. Verse 9. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me. What's he mean by that? What's he mean by that? I'll tell you what he mean. When Rachel was getting upset with Jacob about not having children because Leah was popping them out, what did the Bible say about Leah? What the Lord did for Leah? That he did what? Anybody in the room? Go ahead, Art.
Did he bless her womb?
Close. He opened her womb. So Rachel gets upset at Jacob and was like, "Yo, give me children." Jacob gets upset in return, and he says to Leah, to Rachel, "Do you place me in God's stead?" That's old English for like, you trying to make me God? You trying to say that the power to give you children it lies with me? One thing Jacob understood is that everything that he had, whether it was his wives, cattle, children, it all came from the Most High. You understand? That's a good understanding to have. Is to know that whatever you got going on, it's from the Lord. And whatever you don't got going on, it's from the Lord. You understand? That's a good thing to have. That's a good thing to have in your head. You know, you'll bump your head less. What do I mean by that? A lot of times people feel like they're dealing with people. That the reason why they're not where they're supposed to be is because of somebody, some person. Right? When all of it come from the Lord, man. You understand? The scriptures even say that when a man's ways please the Lord maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So if you got issues, you might want to just examine yourself. All right. So when he says, "But the Lord hath given his cattle to me," what he's saying is that the Lord determined who was going to be speckled, who was going to be ring straight, and he gave it over to me. Because the Lord saw that Laban changed his wages 10 times. So when the Lord decided, he said, "You know what? Since they agreed to this, I'm gonna make sure that what come out this cattle's womb is speckled and ring straight." And that's for Jacob. So even though Laban wasn't going to be honest, the Lord requited Laban and gave Jacob his justice. All right. Verse 10. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled, and grizzled. In verse 11, and the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, "Jacob." And I said, "Here I am." So now, while Jacob was going through this, the Lord was giving Jacob visions about what was about to take place and what was going on. And from that, we see why Jacob took the popular rods from the chestnut tree, the almond tree, and then I think it was another tree, and he stripped the rods. That's because he got that vision. He got that understanding and instruction from a vision from the angel of the Lord. You understand? And he went and took that and set up the what we read, a few weeks ago or last week, where he put it in the watering troughs and set those rods up to make them mate while they were drinking from the watering troughs. And from him doing that, the Lord gave Jacob increase. All right. So we're gonna read the next 7 verses in the Hebrew. This is Genesis 31, verse 12. Like I said, you should have your Bible Hub app to follow along in the Hebrew, and you really should be tapping in with the Lashawan Kodash class on Fridays. It don't have to be ISUPK Kaleen, but Officer Kalkazai is an excellent priest, excellent teacher. You understand? But ISUPK on the Command General Yohana have Lashawan Kodash classes all over the nation, in whatever city that you prefer, or whatever teacher you prefer. Everybody don't have a preference for everybody. It could be an accent, how they speak, the rate at which they speak, but Commander Yohana don't lack no soldiers. You understand? He don't lack no priests. You can tap into any Lashuan Kodash class and getting tapped in with this Hebrew. You understand? All right. Genesis 31 verse 12. Wayamar, Sha'ah, Na'ah, Yanayaka, Waraha, Call, Ha'ai, Thadayim, Ha'ai, Layam, all, Hataza'an, I Quadayim, Na Quadayim, Waba Radayim, Kaya, Ra'a Yathaya, Atha, Kal, Ashar, Laban, Aisha, La'ak, or Laka, Salakia. Genesis 31 and 13. Anai Kaya, Ha'al, Baya, Salakia, Baya, all, Ashar, Mashak, Salakia, Mashaka'ath, Sham, Matazabaha, Salakia, Matazabah, Ashar, Nadarata, Laya, Sham, Nadar, Ataha, Quawam, Taza'ah, Man, Ha'arataza, Hazath, Salakia, Washawab, all, Arataza, Salakia, that's Arataza, Mawar, Ladathka, verse 14. What the ain, Salakia, what the an, Rakahel, Salakia, Rakahal, Wala aha, Wata amaranaha, Salakia, Wata amaranaha, La'a, Ha'aiwad, Lanawa, Kalak, Wana Kalaha, Bayath, Abba Yanawan, Salakia, Abba Yanawa, verse 15. Hala Wa'a, Naka Raya Wata, Naka Shabbat Nawa, Lawa Kaya, Maka Ranawa, Wayakal, Gum, Akal Wala, Ata, Kasa Panawa, verse 16. Kaya Kal, Ha'ai, Salakia, Ha'ai Shar, Ashar, Hataza Ya'al, Alahayim, Ma'a Bayan, Salakia, Ma'a Bayanawa, Lanawa, ha wa'a wala bana yanawa wa'ata call ashar amar alahayim alayaka aishaha. Verse 17. Wa yaquam yaiquab wa ya sha'a ata banayawa wa ata nasha yawa all haga malayam haga malayam. Verse 18. Waya nahag ata call makwa nayahawa wa ata call raka shawa ashar raka salakia rakash makwa naha kwana yanawa ashar rakash ba padawa ba padan aram la bawa'a al yatazak abayawa ora tazaha kanan. Verse 19. Wa laban halak laga lagazaz ata taza'a nawa wata ganai salakia wata ganab raka'al ata hata rapayim ashar la'a bayaha. All right. So we're going to read from Genesis 31, verse 12 to verse 19. Right now, this is Jacob telling his wives about the dream that he had with the Most High. All right. Verse 12. And he said, this is the Most High talking to Jacob. And he said, lift up now thine eyes and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. You know, you got a lot of of our people, man, that I'm gonna be real with you. They align themselves with this kingdom. They become Democrats, Republicans, Christians, whatever, because after everything that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have gone through here, they really don't believe that God sees it. They don't believe that God is looking at what's going on. I mean, just even as an individual, you know, I remember being 8 years old. I was on a scooter, like a motor scooter. I don't know if it was my father or my mother that got it for me, but I was riding. They had got me a scooter, and I'm riding the scooter on the sidewalk. And this is like in Cali, Southern California. It's like regular neighborhoods. You had the street and you had the sidewalk, but it wasn't like the sidewalk was filled with people. It's like a housing. It's a neighborhood. I'm on the sidewalk on the scooter, and this nondescript. If y'all know, well, I don't know if y'all know, but back in the day, a lot of undercover law enforcement were riding Caprices. You know what I'm saying? A Caprice is like a SS, you know. It's a Chevrolet Caprice. It was also a favorite amongst, you know what I mean, Judah. You know what I'm saying? At least in Atlanta and in the South, and then also in Cali. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the undercover law enforcement will use them a lot. So like there's this brown champagne colored Caprice that is like kind of like following me. And I hit the corner, I look at it, but I'm not, you know, the windows are tinted, so I'm not really paying attention. I'm young. I go around the corner. He come around the corner and he cut me off on the sidewalk with his car and get out. And he's like screaming. It's a white dude. He's screaming. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at him, I'm just staring at him. He was like, he's like, you got a permit for that? You're supposed to be driving that in the goddamn street. And I just look at him. I'm like, man, I'm just riding my scooter, right? And he was like, get off that goddamn thing. He's like, and then he was this. It wasn't the first time I heard it, but he was like, you know, you goddamn niggas don't know. He said something that felt like you goddamn niggas don't know how to act, something like that. And I just looked at him. I was like, yo, what's wrong with you? That's what I said. Something, what's wrong with you? He's like, get that thing off the sidewalk. And he gets in his car. He just peels off. But I knew he was undercover because he had like, well, actually, I'm not even sure. He could have just been like them devils that be down at the border. They're not even law enforcement, but they trying to monitor the border. You know what I'm saying? Like some citizens arrest type stuff. He could have been on that. But looking at the little antenna he had on his car, and then like how the windows were tinted, that's what I assumed. They have a natural hatred for us. You understand? They have a natural hatred for us, man. And because of that, things that we experienced like that growing up, you know what I'm saying, where even I remember back in Cali, we used to have like, race riots at the school and stuff. Remember, like, it was a group of these Edomite boys that used to wear like the Irish hat, and we would just bang with them. They get mopped up, then they call their brothers and stuff that was in, out of school to come down in trucks to the school, and it just be, they get mopped up too. You know what I'm saying? But those type of encounters, you know what I'm saying? Like even what we just seen with the black superintendent of that school district when the white girl was coming across, like they go through that process, getting their diploma, and they have to shake hands. You know what I'm saying? They shake hands with everybody, and the father hops up on stage and grabs them and pushes them off. That type of stuff, right? A lot of us, we see those type of things, and being in this kingdom, and it's their kingdom, it's their heaven, and we feel like God don't see it. We feel like God ain't seen it because there's like no retribution. So then it's like you got two choices, right? You either stand on the side of I'm with my people and I'm not aligning myself with these people, or you try to, get a shape up, bow tie, suit, you know what I'm saying, and work twice as hard. Ain't that what your parents tell you, that in this kingdom you got to work twice as hard? Think about what you're putting in your kid's mind. It's not like you tell them you got to work twice as hard because you want them to serve their power, right? The Lord. You tell them to work twice as hard to serve the other power. You know what I'm saying? The God of this world. When I say the God of this world, I'm just talking about the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? The world is just an age or a society. The power of this society is the oppressor. So you tell your kids, hey, look, you got to work twice as hard because, it don't come easy for us. Well, why? Why don't you tell them that? You know what I'm saying? But what you do is you have your kids to be resolved to accept the fact that I'm in a place where they talk about is freedom, justice, and equality, but nothing is equal. But in order for me to get a piece of what they have, I got to work 3 times as hard. You understand? And I'm telling you, we tell our kids this because we don't believe that the Lord sees what's going on. But Commander Johnny Yohana, you know what I'm saying? He teaches us to look our victimizer dead in the face. Look him dead in his eye, in his face, and point out his crimes to him. That we ain't gotta be weak just because we've been victimized by a cruel oppressor. You understand? Because God sees what he's doing. And because God sees it, we can speak on it, man. You understand? And we can cry out, you know what I'm saying, and spare not. All right. Salakia. Verse 12. I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. Verse 13. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowed a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. So now that the Lord has transferred all this wealth and all this power into Jacob's hands, he let him know, like, when you poured oil on that rock and you swore that vow unto me, I'm the power that heard you. Now I'm giving you an order. Leave out of this land and go back to your father's land, the land I gave him. All right. Verse 14. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? They had already told, you know what I mean, that they already knew that whatever their father had for them, he spent it all. So they're like, what do we have here with our father? You know, basically saying like, look, we with you, we riding with you, pretty much. All right. Verse 15, are we not counted of him strangers? So I guess because, you know, he was treating them crazy as well. You know what I mean? Because of what's going on with him and Jacob. For he hath sold us and hath quite devoured also our money. He sold us. Good night. That's crazy. Verse 16, for all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. So basically, they basically just saying in a nutshell, look, we ain't with him. You know what I mean? We with you. Whatever the Lord has given you, that's for us and our kids. You do whatever he told you to do. We with you. All right. Verse 17. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. Verse 18. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten. The cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. Verse 19. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. So basically, they're all getting ready to make this move back to Canaan. And while Laban is out shearing sheep, Rachel goes and gets basically an idol from her father's house. So, you know, Rachel, you know, she was pretty, man, but she didn't have it all together pretty much. You know what I'm saying? That just goes to show you that the God that Laban worshiped wasn't the God that Jacob worshiped. And, you know, even though Rachel told Jacob that she's about to roll with him and go with him, she still was relying on her father's gods. You know what I'm saying? I want to get a scripture because I'm about to close out right here in a little. I may read 7 more, but I want to get a scripture. Somebody give me Isaiah 45, and let me find it. I mean Psalms, not Isaiah. Psalms 45. I want to show y'all something real quick. Sisters, you know, you come out of Christianity, you come out of whatever. You know, your parents could have been Muslim, they could have been into the African religions. You know what I mean? Egypt, Kemet, all that nonsense. But you know, when you come to serve God, or if you get a Ottawan or a husband that serves God, you gotta, even though you've been raised up to a certain point, you know, about how to deal with relationships or you know, how to view life, you have to kind of like, you have to forget everything from before. You understand? And, you know, for sisters that are, you know, have been in the school for a while, or if you're just coming to the school, you know, you take this time to forget and to empty yourself out, to pour out your cup and take in a new thing. You understand? Because you don't want to be in the truth and then go back to your old gods. And then somebody, hey, Amawan, give me the scripture that says, or it would have been better if they had never known the truth. Find that for me. All right. But Vaughn, if you could read Psalms 45 and just start at verse 9 and then read to 11. Read 9 to 11.
The book of Psalms, chapter 45, verse 9. King's daughters were among they honorable women.
Yeah, that's thy. Thy just mean thy is like Old English. It just means your. So it's like king's daughters were amongst your king's daughters were among your honorable women. So it's just thy just means your in Old English. But go ahead.
Upon their right hand did stand the queen in gold of
Ophir.
Ophir.
Yeah, that's just an area of land where it was a lot of good quality gold. It was known for that. All right, go ahead. Verse 10.
Hearken, O daughter, and consider and incline thine ear.
Right. He's saying this is Solomon wrote this. Okay. And you know, Solomon had a lot of wives. All right. And Solomon had a lot of wives that was, you know, it was unlawful. He took them from other nations. You understand? But he's talking about to a woman that he's about to have, pretty much in a sense. So he's saying, hearken, O daughter. Hearken just means to listen, right? And consider, like basically listen to what I'm saying and think about what I'm saying. A lot of times when you're having a conversation with somebody, they're listening to respond. They're not listening to consider. All right. Consider what I'm saying and incline your ear. Like incline means to like turn your ear to me. Like, okay, let me hear what he got to say. Right. Keep reading.
Forget also thine own people.
Do what?
Forget also thine own people.
Forget also thine own people. I'm sure Solomon had to have this conversation with a lot of his women because some of them was Edomites, some of them was Moabites, some of them was Ammonites, some of them was Africans. I'm sure you had to have this conversation with a lot of them. But he's saying, forget thy people. But even then, if he had an Israelite wife, it's the same thing. Basically, it's meaning that you're with me now. Forget your people. Forget whatever they were telling you, how they told you how to deal with situations and issues. You're coming into this truth now. Forget your people. Forget. I don't mean forget like don't communicate with them and deal with them. I'm talking about what they put inside of you that and for how you look at the world. Go ahead.
Like such as you going out and marrying another nation, even though she's forgetting her other nation and coming into the truth, did that make it any better? The fact that,
no, what Solomon did was a sin. Solomon sinned against the Lord by marrying women of other nations. That is unlawful. Interracial relationships are unlawful if you're an Israelite. If you're Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you can only marry your own people. Now, if Issacharite or like a Mexican sister marries a brother from the tribe of Judah, that's fine. If a brother that's from the tribe of Gad marries an Asherite, from Guatemala or Brazil, that's fine. You understand? We got plenty of sisters. We don't lack any beautiful sisters in our nation. You understand? But it's just we never want to embrace what's ours. We always looking towards. It's like we always that phrase. We always say that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. We always looking at what somebody else have instead of what the Lord gave us. But that's not even just with our women. It's with our culture. You understand? The Lord didn't give us Christmas. He didn't give us Easter. You understand? He gave us the feast days. But instead of us magnifying what the Lord gave us before the nations, which is our wisdom, we always want to go chase something else. That's why the Lord he used us going and getting involved with other gods and religions as us committing adultery on him. You understand? Because it's a relationship. In order for you to become a Hindu, you got to watch what the Hindus do, all right? How they worship their God. You got to start getting involved in that. Eating what they eat, which is their food is let me be careful because as long as the meat is lawful, the food is lawful, you're good to eat. But a lot of brothers are into that East Indian food. I hate it. I think it's disgusting. I don't want to eat nothing from them. And I remember I found it out when I was young. Like I went to a East Indian restaurant and there was hair in my food. And then now I see these videos how they cook the food on the street. Bro, I'll never eat that. But I'm not. Everybody got his own preference. It ain't unlawful to eat if it's lawful meat, whatever. But they're disgusting to me. Like I don't eat Chinese food anymore unless Issachar make it or a brother make it, because I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't trust no other nation. You understand? I don't trust them like that. Anyways, point being is that you have to start doing yoga, start doing chanting mantras, hitting the bowls that make the noise, boom, right? You get into a relationship with their God, and then you have to get into a relationship with that religion. And the Lord's looking like, but I gave you this to do. You dig what I'm saying? And it's a violation. And I'm saying it to say this. Solomon is telling this woman, forget your people. Keep reading.
And thy father's house.
And thy what?
Father's house.
Rachel didn't do that. She didn't forget her people in her father's house. She told Jacob that. She said, yeah, whatever my father has, that's what he got. Whatever the Lord gave you is for us and our children, and we're with you. But then she ran back and grabbed an idol from her father's house. You dig what I'm saying? Keep reading. Verse 11.
Verse 11. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty.
Right. It's easier for a man to give you affection and to love on you when you give up what you were. See, really, when sisters like back, I mean, really, everything that, if you had good, what's about in our culture, if you had good parents, your mother and your father were raising you up to be able to give you away. That was the goal. Like the whole goal of raising a daughter was to prepare her to give her to a good husband, a strong husband, to where she could be strong for her husband, serve him and give him children and build a house with that husband. He would have to pay a price for that, the dowry, right? That was the goal. Now sisters have other goals. It's like they have goals outside of that. Like, I want to do this and I want to do that. And that's fine. It's all good. You have liberty. Do what you want with your liberty. But from our culture standpoint, a woman agenda wasn't to have her own. The whole idea, it's so anti our culture to be like, I want to be independent, or I want to have my own. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you saw a sister without a husband, they called her a widow. I don't know if it was Judith or not. I think her husband had been dead and she didn't go marry nobody else. And not that I agree with Martin Luther King or that I agree with Malcolm or nothing like that, but their wives, Betty Shabazz and what was Malcolm's wife? Martin's wife's name, Coretta. They never married again. I'm not saying it's unlawful for y'all to get married again if your husband passed away. I'm just saying for the kind of men that they were, like Judith, she didn't get married again because her husband, she loved her husband so much. Or what? Maybe it wasn't Judith. It was Susanna. I think it was Susanna Salakia. Susanna was a widow. Her husband had died, and she didn't get married again. She looked good. Her whole thing was that my husband passed. I'm responsible for his resources, and unless there's a man that either matches him or exceeds him, I'm not getting married again. Because their quabah wasn't the most important thing to them. You understand? They were concerned about their reputation and upholding the reputation of their husband. Now, it's very much lawful for you to get married again if your husband passes. That's your choice and your decision. I'm just talking about the culture of our women. It wasn't like a woman was in a rush to get married again when her man died, because her entire life was in dedication to that man. You understand? But in order for you to be able to do that, you got to forget your people. You got to forget your father's house. You've left that. Now you're in service to the man that purchased you. I know that sounds crazy for some sisters. Purchase me, I ain't property. Well, according to, if you black and smack Native Indian, according to our culture, you are your husband's property. You're his possession. All right. That may offend you. I mean, I know we've been raised in, might as well be back in Greece. You know what I'm saying? We over here, Rome. You know what I'm saying? And, they put something else in y'all spirits to where that term offends your ear. But it's the truth of the matter. And that's how strong households are built, is when you know who you belong to. When you know who you belong to, then, like the scriptures say, a man or a woman can't serve two masters. For either she's going to love the one, you know what I'm saying, and hate the other, or hold to the one and despise the other. When you, and I'm not saying don't communicate with your parents, your cousins, your family, but when you show that type of loyalty to your husband, he's going to greatly desire you because he knows you're all for him. Read that again, verse 11.
Verse 11. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty.
Right. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty. Keep reading.
For he is thy Lord.
For he is thy Lord. This is where you got Paul saying in Ephesians, wives, submit to your husbands as unto the Lord, because your husband is your Lord. For he is thy Lord. Right. Keep reading.
And worship thou him.
Yeah, worship him. Yeah, worship him. Yeah. You know what that is. I ain't finna get into all that. Y'all know what that is. Give him all that love and respect and give him everything that you have. And I'm telling you, he's going to greatly desire you. He's going to, sisters, a lot of times, and it's not, it ain't y'all fault. It's just, it ain't y'all fault, man. But that's why Commander John Yohana, you know what I'm saying, has held down this truth for so long to bring our sisters back to being tender and delicate again, to where you wouldn't even want to put your foot on the concrete. You know what I'm saying? That's how y'all was getting treated. You know what I mean? But that level of tenderness and delicacy, it's turned into a hardened heart. But I'm telling y'all, if y'all would just use what the Lord gave you, you could get anything you want from your husband just by words. This is why in the scriptures it talk about that the only thing more powerful than a woman is the truth. I think I forget what book that was in. It could be Ezra's or I forget what it was in, or Wisdom of Solomon. But it talks about how the woman would sit on the king's lap and knock the crown off his head, and he just look at her and laugh, like, okay, right? When couldn't no man do that? Come and knock a crown off a king's head. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman should be able to deal with her husband in a way that nobody else can, but not on some like pride. Not on some entitlement. Oh, I should be able to say this. No, but like how Esther did things. You know what I'm saying? When Esther, even though she was married to a heathen, but when Esther wanted to get her husband's attention, she's like, "Let me cook you dinner," and he's like, "Why? What's going on?" "Don't worry about it. I just want to cook you dinner." What's she up to? Right? You in your head like in back end, what's she want? She make the dinner. Then at the end of the dinner, he's like, "Baby, what's going on?" "I just want to cook you dinner again." All right. 3 times she did this. Then at the end, she laid down what she wanted. And of course, it was to, deal with Haman and all that and to save the nation. But that's the level of like delicateness that you need, that sisters need to handle their husbands. There's a way to get what you want. There's a way to be heard. You understand? And that's why they say like that, a soft tongue breaketh the bone. But a harsh word, I'm paraphrasing this in Proverbs, hard as the heart, meaning that I know a lot of these sisters like, you might say, well, why don't you talk to me soft? If you do it, you'll break his bones. You don't need to be MMA and no jujitsu. You can just say something to him. He's like, oh man, okay. And he gonna yield. All right. So that's that. You got that scripture? Go ahead.
2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21.
That's 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 21. This is talking about. We're talking about Rachel right now. She took her father's gods and tried to bring it with her when she's going with her husband. Go ahead.
Well, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness.
Right.
Than after they have known it, to turn away from the holy commandment. Right.
So it's better to not, when you come into this truth, you want to make sure that you empty everything out. Especially for sisters that are, even if you've been in the school for a while. This is for brothers and sisters. I'm saying sisters, but it's for brothers and sisters. I'm only highlighting sisters because of Rachel, but this is for anybody. When you come into the school and you're a student, you want to make sure that you're taking the time to absorb this truth. Don't worry about responsibilities, and this is your time to grow. This is your time to absorb everything. You understand? And empty yourself out to learn what the Lord loves and what he hates. And then to focus on the things that he loves and to do those things. You understand? To have his protection. All right. And to learn how to do things within the school type, right? You want to forget. Like David had a phrase. David said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, I was born in sin and in shaping in iniquity. Or in sin did my mother conceive me and shaping in iniquity. Christians try to say that means that you're born a sinner. No, a baby has not committed a sin. Okay, that's why when the disciples saw that blind man and who was blind from birth, they asked Christ, who sinned, him or his parents? Well, a baby, but he was blind from birth. A baby can't sin. Christians try to say you're born with sin in you. That's not how it goes. All that means is that you were raised in an environment and in a culture where it was okay to break God's laws, and you were offending God and didn't even know it. Right. So now you come into the truth. You're a baby. You don't know no better. You're learning everything. It's like going back to kindergarten again. You're learning now. You're a baby. Right. You're born again. You're a baby. You're feeding on milk. Right. But you want to make sure that as you're going through this learning process, that you're pouring out who you used to be, getting rid of the old things, forgetting, well, my mama told me this. My daddy told me that. Well, what your mama or dad told you could be true. It could be valid. But you want to filter everything through the truth. What did God say about it? That should be the ultimate authority. Not, well, my mama told me this, because a lot of things that our parents gave us, they were not of the Most High. You understand? That's why it's saying to forget your people, to forget your father's house, because now you have a new Lord and you need to learn what pleases him. All right, because you don't want to come into this and then you holding on to things from your old life it'd have been better if you never came in at all. All right. So, if there's not any questions, we're gonna go ahead and let me see the chat. Like I said, Salaki, y'all, for earlier, all that muting, man. Salaki, I'll make sure I'm on point. I'm probably gonna hear about it too. yeah. Believe that. Priests and officer Tablets are answers to powers above him. You understand? All right. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out there. Let me see here. Salakia. With that, I Mijum, which means to stand. La Yashala. That just means to Israel. Salute the Torah. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshai Brakiyah. So Wa Hakwadam, which means to face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak Wakah, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathamanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawakyanawa, Wala'ah, Tabaya'ayanawa, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalatwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapara, La'ai Walamyum, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. This is the prayer for the power, the Hakak. In the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Baba Kushah, Nathamanawa, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kal Makalah, Wakal Matawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha-Matazarium, Lahakuyam, Hamathium, Hakak, Al-Rakawa, Hatama'Allah, Lagarshin, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, the Wada Aman. In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahawashi, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahawashi. Thank you. So be it. This is the prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'Shem Yahawashi. Barak Lanawa. Wa Yasha'ala. Wahab Bayaf Saparium. Barak. Ba'Shem Yahawashi. The Wada Aman. In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Ashai Ayanya, Al-Haharium, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hanala'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yum Yunka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makorai, Yashamar, Aknapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'atka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'atai, Wa'ai, Awalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. This is Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Thakarash, wa Al-Thashakwat, Al-Kaya, Hana, Awa Yabaka, Yahama Yawan, Wama Shana Yaka, Sha'a wa Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Ya'ira Salakia, Ya'ira Yam wa Sawada, wa Ya Fa'atazawa, Al-Tazapawan Yaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakyadam, Magalia, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwad Kaya, Nawa'atazawa, Salakia, Lab Yakadwa, Al-Yaka, Barya, Yarkathwa, Ahawya, Adawam, Wa Yasham, Salakia, Wa Yashama'ai Alyam, Mawaba, Wa Hagarium, Gabal, Wa Amawan, Wa Amalak, Parashah, Am Yashabya, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalo, Salakia, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabian, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashadmawa, Ba'ayan Da'ira, Hayawa Daman, La Adama, Shatamwa, Nadabya, Salakia, Nadab Mawa, Salakia, Nadab Mawa, Ka'arab, Waka Za'aba, Waka Zabak, Waka Tazamanai, Kal Nasakamwa, Ashar Amarwa, Na Yarasha, Lanawa, Nawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathumwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, La Panyaraka, Kaash, Tabiyaira, Wakal Lahaba, Dalahat, Harium, Kamtaradatma, Basa Salakia, Ba Sairaka, Wa Ba Sawapathka, Ta Balaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayaba Kwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wa Yabahawa, Ayai, Wa Yakaparwa, Wa Yaabadwa, Wa Yadaiwa, Kaya Ata, Shamka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharatazah. In the English, keep not thy silence, O power. Hold not thy peace. And be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assurers also join with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power in possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storms. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou whose name alone is Yahweh art the most high over all the earth. This is the prayer of the blessing for the structure. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabaya, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyum, Ha Saranyum, Ha Kwatazayanyum, Ha Kayoyum, Waha Akwapian, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, the Wada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. All right, Sar. Imajim. We go ahead and do a courtesy salute to the Akim, to the brothers, men of Israel. Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Got the Matzah. Sar, turn face the sisters. Men of Israel. Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Shema Alatham Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Yazim Matzah, class dismissed.